Hey, what's up everybody? Chris here, and I wanted to bring you my thoughts and review of Music by John Williams, which was directed by Laurent, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Bozero. I could be completely butchering that, so I probably shouldn't even have attempted, but and featuring, of course, Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard, J.J. Abrams, George Lucas, just sort of the litany of figures that you would imagine would want to talk about John Williams and everything he's contributed to the film industry. So really what this movie is, it's a documentary, and it sort of chronicles John Williams' life and sort of everything, again, that he has brought to the world of film, especially in his sweeping sort of orchestral developments, but it's more of a celebration of life. Like, this is not the sort of documentary that's probing and trying to get into sort of the nuanced personality of an individual, even though you do get some background about him getting into music, where he was born, how he grew up. Some obviously challenges, just like any human would have in life, sort of going through that, but it's more, again, kind of a celebration of who he is. And this just, to me, was pure nostalgia. Like, I love this documentary, and sort of going into it, I knew, like, there was no way they could really mess this up as long as they were talking about just his relationship with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and sort of how all of that blossomed and where he came from and where he's headed now at age 92 or so, I believe. That was sort of the thing that I wanted to see out of this, and that's exactly what I got. So, you know, for people who are looking for something with a little more depth to it, they might be a little disappointed, but not me, really. I mean, he kind of goes through the technicalities of thinking about, okay, when I'm working on a movie like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, how do I land on those 5 notes that are so famous in the ending of that movie, right? And really, throughout the whole movie, how it kind of builds up to that. But it's just miraculous. I mean, it's an illustration of how much of a genius John Williams is. And I will tell you, as I sort of listened to and revisited the scores for Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, even things that might have been a little bit more subtle. So, for example, in Schindler's List, they talk about sort of the violin notes in that and how people got brought on board to help with that. And again, it's more about sort of the relationships in some of the instances of the documentary. But there's something about John Williams' music that just brings tears to me. Like, I don't know what it is. He's perfect at capturing the emotion of a scene and punching it up to the nth degree. And even Spielberg and Lucas say multiple times, like, our movies would not be what they are without John Williams. And at one point, George Lucas says, you know, Star Wars would not be Star Wars. Half the movie would be gone if the music wasn't what it was. And so, to me, this was a long overdue celebration of who John Williams is. And I'll just tell you up front, I'm going to be devastated when he passes away. I mean, you know, in his early 90s, like, hopefully he's got a few more movies left in him. He still is conducting. He still does things at the Hollywood Bowl, all of that. But you kind of know that that's probably on the horizon in the not too distant future, and that's going to be a tremendous loss for the world of film. But, you know, obviously this movie is meant to sort of, I guess, encapsulate all of his background and sort of the things that he still does, right? He still writes every day. And so I don't think he's slowing down yet. I think he's still contributing a lot, but this was just a really kind of heartwarming, great celebration of film music. And for that reason, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Spielberg fan, you know, especially, then you'll have a lot to enjoy here. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Music by John Williams. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.